My name's Eli Moskowitz. I've been a sound man, well, pretty much since I was born. I'm a second generation sound man, and I now work as a boom operator in sitcom worlds. Not always fishpoling everything, but when we have the occasion, we do excessively long takes sometimes, and it's hard to keep your hands up over your head, keep your arms up, stay out of the shot. I mean, these are challenges that boom operators have been dealing with for years. The new EXO Boom takes the weight off of you so that you can focus on your job, which is getting clear audio. This rig, I have worn it for over an hour sometimes, keeping the fishbowl up in the air without killing my arms, and I don't have to worry about the producer or the director not calling cut for 25 to 30 minutes. This rig keeps the weight evenly distributed on me while keeping the fishbowl in the air and allowing me to swing around and get whatever I need. Everything here is designed so that you can do it from either side. It is not right-handed or left-handed specific. It works male, female, whatever you want to put in here, and it allows you to instantly be able to do long takes without having to destroy your back or have bodybuilding muscles to hold the pole up for hours. In addition, this counterbalance is built so well that if you actually need to take your hands off it for a moment, the mic doesn't drop on somebody's head. You can let your hands down and let the blood flow back into your fingers. If you're mixing, and we'll put the bag on in a minute, you're able to make small adjustments and keep your mic on target. If you're doing a take where you know at the very end of it, you're limited by where you can be, but you have to follow somebody out, do me a favor, step all the way back. You're going to want to see this.
That was a lot.
So for those long takes where you're going to have to come out of it at the end, you take off the counterbalance, use your hand as the counterbalance throughout that take. And then at the very last second, when you have that walk away, pop the quick release, come out, and that smoothly you're on.
Two of them, you can know
go into whatever you need to do, go low,
more area, but also the effective
out of the vest rig. It's so easy, and then when you come back, it pops right back in, and you're back in for your assisted holding again. Anybody who's running around doing one-man band sound, this is a game changer. If you give us just a moment, we're going to put the sound bag on next. Whole idea being when you're on set, you're out on location, if your camera team is using Teradek or one of the other programs that puts out a signal, you can download the app onto your phone and you'd have it right here watching your frame line. It makes life even easier working together as a team doing run and gun when your camera operator doesn't have to say, hold on a sec, boom, just dipped in. You've got your shot right here. They can operate with confidence knowing that you're keeping an extra eye out to keep your mic out of their shot and still staying aware of their frame line. So I've had the opportunity now to take it onto two separate network sitcoms, one for CBS, one for NBC, and everybody who sees it is loving it. And production loves it, especially when you call it a cost-effective safety rig. When you explain to them that this saves them the money of having to bring in an entirely extra sound department extension. I was doing a sitcom where we would have needed a third head, a third operator, and a third utility, and instead we turned to production and said, hey, we've got a great deal for you, we'll bring this in. And this right here, they upgraded our utility, and this became our third head. Another question. I have been working now as a boom operator in Hollywood for over 10 years. I am very lucky that I haven't injured myself yet, but I have more than a few friends in my union who cannot pick up a fish pole anymore. The doctors have told them, do not ever do it again. They've had back issues, shoulder issues, all kinds of musculature issues. If we had had this as an option in the last 10 years, there are a lot more guys who would still be working. This is a game changer for fish pole operators. This vest rig is completely ambidextrous. Everything on this side is duplicated on this side. You can turn and boom whichever way you please. Depending on how you get stuck in a corner sometimes, you have to. You don't have a choice. You have to be able to be adjustable, and this rig is adjustable on a moment's notice. It's not locked down, but it is securable. There are nuts all over the place that help for this rig to be stable. There's even one down here that keeps the mast from turning, so that if I were to let go, my arm stays put, it doesn't pull it one way or the other. There's a locking nut down here. And all of these can be adjusted higher or lower depending on your height, your work requirements, and what you need. Learning curve is pretty simple. I've seen people get into it here at the show, and within a couple of minutes they have it up and they're moving it around, getting the feel for it. I was able to put one other person in it on set just to play with it, not while we were shooting, and within a few minutes he was working it, doing everything, and it has a very short learning curve.
Does it change the way that you're used to operating?
It doesn't at all. I still operate the exact same way. I watch my mic, I watch my frame line. The difference is I am no longer using my strength and muscles to hold up the pole and operate it. This mast and this vest are doing every ounce of the hold, the lift, and keeping it in the air. I'm able to control it using one finger if I need to keep it on target. Now, of course, if I'm doing a talking piece and I've got to do a lot of cueing, I've got both hands and I'm able to give it a little spin and a little cue and do what I need to do to boom it. On the inside of this quick release, there are soft pads which silent the noise of the boom moving so that the sound of me cueing is not transferred onto the soundtrack. So the hook on the back, if you need to work a scene where you know you're going to need to pop this off, before the scene starts, you just lift your hook off, let it dangle by your side, use your hand as the counterbalance now, but it doesn't limit my ability to cue or do anything else I need to do in that scene. I'm simply using it as the counterbalance to keep my mic up, so then when the time comes and you're getting ready, you get through your whole scene, and at the very last second, you flip that up, you pop it out, and you're able to slide over, get down.
As we saw before, back there briefly.
My feet still haven't moved. I'm still locked in that same position that I got stuck in behind the camera, and I'm still able to go a lot further, swing a lot, and go up and down as necessary. And then when they call cut, finally, you put it back in, and you're there. And it's just as easy. Put your hand right here to keep it up, take your hook, and you're back in. The EXO Boom by Cinema Devices is available on their website at cinemadevices.com. Look for EXO Boom on their website. It will list for $1,550. Right now there is a show deal for the launch of the product. It is $1,350, and that's the thing that's getting everybody running to the booth today. Here at NAB, I was walking around. People were coming up because they could see this thing from down the aisle. I had people come all the way to me. They looked at it, and when I told them the price point, they were in disbelief that something this good would be that cost efficient. So you don't have to use the counterforce hook on it. It helps, but it is not necessary. The mast is doing all of the work of holding it up. The counterweight, the counter force is just allowing it so that you can take your hand off it for a second and it'll stay level, it'll stay out there, won't smack anybody in the head, and you can do something. You can drop your arm if it's been holding it for a half hour. And again, I can let this arm down and just control it with the opposite arm. Because this material is flexible, it does offer a little bit of give so that if you don't want to take the counter force off, again, with those soft pads in here, all you have to do is slide it back, and you can tip down, you can tip up, move around as you need, and your counter force is still there. But we've all had those times when we're doing scenes and you're locked into where you're going to sit, but at the very end of the scene, somebody's going to walk away, and you've got to follow them, and you're a little limited here because of this. So if you know that, you pop this off at the beginning of that take, and you use your hand as the counterbalance. This is still holding all the weight, and at the very end, quick release pop off, and there you go. And as soon as it takes over, pop it back in, quick release, and you're back in. That's something that this man came up with. It was one of the best features of this.
Yeah.
And it's not hard to do yourself.
It's like hanging up a shirt.
And there you go. And hands free, and I'm not dropping down on anybody's head. This is called the EXO Boom.
Boom and it's Cinema
And
Devices.
it's made by Cinema Devices. This is the unit. This is separate. So yeah, this is the unit. It's the mask, the vest, the counterbalance on the pole, and the clamp to use as the brake of it.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes, it does. It sounds fantastic. This right here, the spring allows you to adjust it so no matter what. No, this is all metal. Yeah. And there's little soft fabric here so that when you make your little adjustments and you have to slide a little bit, it doesn't transfer the noise through the pole.
People did these problems.
I mean, obviously anything is going to make a noise if it hits it, but I've done walk and talks with this. I've done walk, talk, and singers with this, and the mixer I was using it with couldn't hear any vibration noise of me stepping back.
It's going to change your lives.